What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Onyx Report's Black Masculinist news for the day. Hope everybody's well. As you guys can see, we're dealing today with technology, and a very particular type of technology that is impacting how black folk, and in particular black men, have been treated, and especially in terms of carceral treatment as a result of facial recognition technology. Right. So let me check something here. Just want to make sure I got this straight, and it is not. So I'm glad I asked the question, boy. I tell you, it's one of those days. This is a piece that I thought it was time to do. BGS not long ago talked about this in relation to an activist who was arrested on the basis of this faulty use of technology, and he was kind of really going in about the importance of this, but I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. So now we're starting to see how it's impacting others, and I think it's high time we deal with it. I think it's high time we deal with it. So that said, let me just kind of get this little screen set up. Okay, we're good to go. All right, so this is a piece that you can see in DetroitNews.com entitled "Lawsuit: Man Suffered Great Harm After Wrongful Arrest Based on Detroit's Facial Recognition Technology." Right. So here we go. Detroit attorneys representing a Farmington Hills man filed a federal lawsuit Tuesday seeking undisclosed damages from the city, its police chief, and a Detroit police detective for the grave harm caused by the misuse of and reliance upon facial recognition technology. 75-page suit was filed on behalf of Robert Williams in U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Michigan by the University of Michigan Law School's Civil Rights Litigation Initiative, the American Civil Liberties Union, and the ACLU of Michigan. The ACLU press release Tuesday claimed Mr. Williams' experience was the first case of wrongful arrest due to racial recognition technology to come to light in the United States. The suit also says Williams' Fourth Amendment rights were violated and that his arrest violated the Michigan Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act. Williams' case attracted national attention when it was first made public last year, and it served as a rallying cry for critics of facial recognition technology who point to studies suggesting the software systems return an inordinate number of false hits against black people. Williams is black. Let me see if I can enlarge this. All right. City of Detroit Police Chief James Craig and Detroit Police Detective Donald Busa are named as defendants in the lawsuit, which blames the police department's facial recognition program for Williams' wrongful shoplifting arrest on January 9, 2020, stemming from an October 2019 theft at a Detroit Shinola store. "I came home from work and was arrested in my driveway in front of my wife and daughters, who watched in tears because a computer made an error." Right? Williams said in a written statement, "This never should have happened, and I want to make sure that this painful experience never happens to anyone else." Detroit's Corporation Counsel Lawrence Garcia said in a statement Tuesday, "The arrest took place before the pandemic, and in the time since, the Detroit Police Department has conducted an internal investigation and has sustained misconduct charges relative to several members of the department. New protocols are in place to prevent similar events." Garcia said the law department will seek to achieve resolution of Mr. Williams' claims on terms that are fair to him and the city. Craig on Tuesday blamed the wrongful arrest on just bad detective work, adding facial recognition was used, but that's not why the arrest was bad. The chief said the sloppy work and lack of management oversight prompted him to demote the detective supervisor, a captain, to the rank of lieutenant. After 5 watches worth about $4,000 were stolen from the Shinola outlet in the Cass corridor, a loss prevention officer reviewed video footage that showed the suspect wearing a St. Louis Cardinals baseball cap. The man did not look into the camera, according to the lawsuit. Michigan State Police ran Williams' photo was run through the facial recognition software, which returned a hit for Williams. 5 months later, after the videos were sent to the Detroit Police Crime Intelligence Section, Williams was arrested. Police handcuffed Williams, the lawsuit says, without explanation on his front lawn in plain daylight in front of his wife and children, humiliated and jailed in a dirty, overcrowded cell for approximately 30 hours where he had to sleep on bare concrete, all for no reason other than being someone a computer thought looked like a shoplifter. Per the policy, a photo from a crime scene is taken from the video feeds and fed into the software, which searches databases for a match. Once a match is established, 2 employees of the real-time crime center and a supervisor must look at the photos and agree they match. Only then is the photo forwarded to an investigator. The policy also bars police from seeking warrants if a facial recognition hit is the only evidence. Craig said the rigorous rules mitigate against the system falsely flagging black people, but that has not allayed critics' concerns. We know that facial recognition technology threatens everyone's privacy by turning everyone into a suspect, Phil Mayer, senior staff attorney for the ACLU of Michigan, said in a statement Tuesday. We've repeatedly urged the Detroit Police Department to abandon its use of this dangerous technology, but insist on using it anyhow. Justice requires that DPD and its officers be held accountable. Despite the controversy, in September 2020, the Detroit City Council voted 6-3 to approve a nearly $200,000 contract with South Carolina-based DataWorks Plus, which funds software maintenance and equipment support. The contract expires September 2022. Right. Williams' lawsuit does not specify how much money is being sought, but says he seeks damages to compensate him for his unlawful and humiliating arrest and imprisonment, punitive damages against defendant Busa for recklessly disregarding his rights. The suit also seeks declaratory and injunctive relief to prevent similar unconstitutional arrests in the future. So basically, we have technology that's being developed that further incriminates black people very arbitrarily in ways that are, being allowed to occur. Now, thankfully, this brother is out and was able to sue, but my question is, how many have not been able to? How many cases have not been able to make the news? How often does this occur? And to what extent can we begin to challenge how this technology is being used on a daily basis? All right? How does this impact people across the board, most particularly black men? Right? Especially if the software itself is not primed in any kind of way where it can critically distinguish the differences between different black men, especially when you have a situation where it's based on something like a cap and he never actually looked at the camera, but you can justify actually locking this man up, actually arresting him in his own driveway. This is absolutely ridiculous. But as it happened before the pandemic, this kind of thing could have gone on for years. He could have been locked up arbitrarily, could have actually, contracted COVID while in prison. All kinds of things could have taken place. How many people's cases have been put on hold in the midst of this kind of pandemic, right? So all of this could have really gone a whole different way. And thankfully he got out. But at the end of the day, we just need to bring some attention to this and begin to get involved in discussions about what this actually means and the implications of it. And there are a number of people that have been, but I think it's time we make sure as black men that we are involved in this discussion more so because this disproportionately impacts us, right? More so than anything else. So I just wanted to bring that to you and just kind of put that on your mind, just to think about, because we do need to make sure that we are involved and actively outspoken about what takes place in regard to the development and use of facial recognition technology as it pertains to the incrimination of black men. I do want to add this part from the article I didn't cover. Let me see. It says, if this case had the same article, if this case had happened now, facial recognition use wouldn't have even been authorized, Craig said. Facial recognition technology has been roundly criticized, and since 2019, several cities, including San Francisco, Boston, New Orleans, Minneapolis, and Jackson, Mississippi, have banned its use. two bills that would have banned or delayed police use of facial recognition technology in Michigan, House Bill 4810 and Senate Bill 342, were introduced in 2019, but petered out. Last year, Detroit Democrats and the Michigan Legislative Black Caucus proposed a package of bills that would bar police from using facial recognition technology. Those bills also fizzled. Detroit's use of technology largely flew under the radar immediately after the Detroit City Council in 2017 approved $1 million purchase of the software, but in 2019, when Craig moved to adopt a permanent policy after using general orders to govern the software's use, the practice was met with heavy resistance. This is a form of automation in a way, in and of itself, but one that is dangerously impactful, particularly, again, against black men. So y'all, whether it's this article or any others that you find, and please feel free to share them in the chat. We do need to become extremely literate about the issue and make sure that this kind of lazy use or purposeful use of errant technology to offset law enforcement's efforts, in terms of doing some serious detective work, we have to make sure that these kind of attempts to offset that type of labor actually don't incriminate and incarcerate black men to an even greater degree. And knowing full well that they can do so with minimal pushback. I mean, it's one thing if it's caught on camera and it's clearly an injustice and it's something that's clearly been done out of protocol. But if it's not on camera, caught on camera, and it happens under the radar and men are going to jail, this kind of thing can slip through the radar with no kind of problem. So, all right, fellas, hope y'all are well. Keep this on your front minds. Be vocal and outspoken about it. Make sure you include anything in the comment section that you think is relevant to the discussion so we can build our knowledge up of this as a collective. But until then, other than that, I will say I wish you guys well. Peace.